Good evening, and welcome to Hello, It's Us. Hello, It's Us is dedicated to educating the general public about issues important to the disability community, and we operate under the premise that as we do so, we are educating the entire community about issues because we feel that those issues that are important to people with disabilities are important to everyone. Hello, It's Us is brought to you through a collaboration between the University of Iowa Center for Disabilities and Development, our friends at Uptown Bill's Coffee Shop, and our friends here at Public Access Television. My name is Mike Hoenig. I work at the Center for Disabilities and Development, and I serve as co-host for Hello, It's Us. Keith?
Okay, I'm Mike's co-host, and I am retired and writing a book, and I take up my time during the week being an advocate for disability rights.
It's a good thing to do.
Yes.
Well, on July 23rd, we celebrated the 26th anniversary of the ADA signing in grand style on the Ped Mall in Iowa City. And today we have three guests who are going to spend some time with us reflecting on that great morning, that hot morning, but full of energy and advocacy and so forth. So our three guests to my left are State Senator Joe Bolkcom. He was there and is a recipient of the Terry Cunningham Community Award. We have Ed Gaines, who is a recipient of the Bill Regan Vitality Award, a longtime advocate and entrepreneur. And we have Tom Gilsenan, who serves on the ADA Celebration Planning Committee and also serves as manager of Uptown Bill's Coffee Shop. So welcome to all of you. Thanks for
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for joining us.
And Joe, I'll begin.
Okay.
Because you received the Terry Cunningham Award.
Well, thanks, Keith. It's quite an honor. I mean, Terry was quite a person. He was suffered an accident as a teenager that left him a quadriplegic, and he didn't let that stop him. He went on to get a good college education, a master's degree, had a very productive professional career helping people succeed with disabilities. He was a terrific volunteer advocate. And we greatly miss him, of course, and so it was quite an honor to receive that award in his name, knowing all of his accomplishments for people with disabilities.
And one other thing about Terry, if I might add for you, Terry also dealt with a lot of non-disabled people, helping them with any of their problems. So he was an all-around individual.
He was. He was he was. I mean, we have Mike here tonight as your co-host, Keith. But as you know, Terry was the long-term co-host of Hello, It's Us, and on the times we've been on there, you all hosted programs with the state legislative delegation. It was a really good opportunity for us to pick up on issues and understand directly some of the concerns. And Terry was really a strong advocate on the issue that you know about, dealing with people's ability to interact with gas pumps at gas stations that have the desire to drive and be out there, and the challenges that these convenience stores place in front of them.
We can basically say he was active in all facets of everyday life.
You bet.
He was, and it's really been a it's a tough act to follow, so to speak, to serve as co-host now because of Terry's great work and advocacy, and I was really honored when Bob Bacon asked me to work on this with Keith, because Terry had a passion for everything that he got involved with, and this was certainly one of them. And he was very, very good about, in terms of Hello, It's Us planning shows and bringing in people that were that really had something to say on issues that were important to the disability community. And he asked the questions and interacted in a way that you knew that the issues were this was not a job or a task to him. It was something that he was passionate about, and it was neat. This is the first year that I remember. I'm trying to remember if last year we had the Terry Cunningham Award, but it's the first year that I really remember it being given. And having known Terry and worked with him, it was really it was a big moment. We were in the middle of a conversation, believe it or not, on the Ped Mall when that award was when it was announced, Joe, that you were going to be receiving it, and I said, we have to stop talking now. I mean, it was a big moment, and I'm just really glad that you were chosen as this year's recipient.
Thanks.
Joe, can you remember some big legislative moves that really help people with disabilities? Can I just give us a brief synopsis?
Well, I think there's a couple big things. Let me say a little thing. I mean, we did, after really Terry pressed forward with this accommodation at gas stations and the need for better service from our convenience stores, we've made some improvements over the last few years, pressing Casey's and Come and Go and others to do a better job of making accommodations for people with disabilities that need them. So there's a little thing, but an important thing if you need gas in your car and have trouble getting it in there. The expansion of Medicaid is probably the biggest thing. 4 years ago, we decided to try and provide coverage to people that need it that don't have health insurance. And about 150,000 people today have access to a whole host of services, mental health services, substance abuse services, and of course basic health care as a result of some changes that we decided to make in a bipartisan way in Iowa to expand Medicaid. And then the other thing I'd say is that the redesign of the state's mental health regional, going from a 99 county mental health system for adults principally, we've made great strides in the last few years, making that a regionally administered system and providing more flexibility to counties to offer more kinds of services. So I think those two things are probably the biggest population-wide for people with disabilities and people that need our help with a good healthcare safety net.
It's kind of neat too to think, unfortunately what's not neat is that Terry was the victim of the Medicaid waiting lists and being able to get services in the community, but I think he has inspired many of us to work harder and to really understand, when you read about these waiting lists, and you don't understand oftentimes what it means until you know somebody that has had to go through that and is trapped somewhere where they don't want to be, and then you really understand the importance of working on these issues.
Well, and as we've made progress in trying to provide more access to services to people, the privatization of Medicaid, which has happened over the last year, we took a couple steps forward, and I'm afraid we're going to take a big step backwards, and we're going to find more people waiting for services and being hassled by these 3 managed care organizations about the services they rely on now. We've heard plenty of stories from families and beneficiaries that are really, really scared about not getting what they need. So our work isn't done. Terry would be quite frustrated with this decision to privatize Medicaid, and we could use his help right now in our efforts to try and make it work for people. So Keith and all of us, we're going to have to keep working on it, as you know.
Absolutely. Well, let's turn our attention to our other award recipient here. Ed Gaines was the recipient of the Bill Reagan Vitality Award. And Ed, first of all, congratulations. It was a great honor to be there to see you receive that award. And I'd like to get your thoughts on what it felt like, what it meant to you to receive that award.
What did you think when you got this award? Were you surprised?
I get happy to understand to become more able and able.
Okay. helping people to become more able instead of being thought of as disabled.
So that's a big part of what you're all about, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of your life and work.
And also I have educated
Getting an education.
from Bolkcom, where I grew up. Back and forth, everything, Bolkcom, everything.
You went to the Children's Hospital School.
Oh. Did not know that. That's where I work.
That's
So-
where Mike works now. The part of the university where the school is,
Right.
was, is and was.
They taught me how to read it.
What's that?
How to read lips
Oh, they know
and
that.
a number of other things that were helpful
That's
along the
wonderful.
way. Your the award, whatever paragraph or two that we of introduction for the award included the house, the Universal Design House, your small business enterprises.
Yeah, I mean, for more than 30 years, Tom Ruff.
Yeah, where there was Mr. Ed Super Graphics.
Super government.
And
You knocked it off.
and and your work at at Wild Bill's first, right?
Yeah, very comfortable. And I'm not sure I'll be making very comfortable first. Then I owned a comfortable for about 3 years.
At the coffee shop at the International Center.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And then I use computer, but they have computers over there. And today I see computer graphics.
So I think that's an excellent job of showing people how to be able, that focus on more your ability than your disability. And I don't know if you knew Bill Reagan at all, but I know that's what he was about too, which is I think one of the reasons, of many reasons that you got the award, is that he was about educating people and about creating opportunities for people with disabilities to be more independent. And he did it in a very positive way. He was always out in the community, and that seems a lot like you.
Yeah, I am much more positive because people are laughing and Christopher in the and me I make people happy because I'm going to be happy.
You make people happy because you want to be happy? Is that close? So what? Good.
The happy day.
It's a good goal for all of us.
Yes, it is.
I'm two award winners today. And they tell us that if you take interest in people, they can perform to their highest ability.
That's right.
It's a good summary.
I play
Chess?
grabber, card game.
Got a lot going on.
Ed was a ranked chess player in earlier years. And,
Really?
he plays Scrabble now almost every day online, and then with live people in the coffee shop a couple afternoons a week at Uptown Bill's.
You still play chess too? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Not as much, though. We're not playing chess as much.
Yep. Not anymore because I don't know where I don't know if they have the tech.
Oh, the chess club, yeah, that you were working with, yeah. It's withered away.
It has withered. Oh, that's too
Yep.
bad. I have to start a new one.
You ready to start a new chess club?
I'm playing it.
Okay.
Well, we want to bring Tom in. Tom's been gracious enough to help do a little clarifying, interpreting, so forth. But Tom played a key role in the ADA celebration, serving on the committee. And I think we'll spend some time now just talking and kind of reflecting on the day. And Tom, maybe you could kick us off. Just in terms of your overall reflections on how the day went, some of the things that were highlights for you.
Well, this is the 26th year. There's been a celebration mostly in downtown Iowa City every year. And years ago, it was really coordinated by the original Wild Bill's coffee shop. There was a man there who arranged music at Wild Bill's, Bob Finch. And Bob was the person who originated, at least in our community, the term abilities awareness. And Bob used a wheelchair. His wheelchair was about twice the size of Ed's. And in order to get around, he would sip from what looked like a straw, and it would make his wheelchair move. I don't know how he could go backwards if he, instead of sipped, if he blew into it. But anyway, Bob coordinated music for some years at Wild Bill's and was very involved then in getting musicians to be at the ADA celebration. Then for a couple of years it was other places. Keith and I one year were at the Coral Ridge Mall.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then one year it was out at Hickory Hill Park.
Yes.
But mostly it's been downtown. And of course it's in July, which it's the week that the bill was originally signed, and it's hot. This year was not as hot as last year, and certainly not. There have been other years where there was one year I recall where it was over 100 degrees. And some years it was quite a spectacle. It went on for several hours, not just 2, but 3, and I think the longest was 5, wasn't
Yeah.
it? 5 hours. But the idea of having some music and some dance and some speeches, and now these 2 awards. You're right, this is the first year for the Terry Cunningham Award, and the 3rd year, I believe, for the Bill Reagan Award.
Well, I think our ADA celebration has changed somewhat. It's bound to change because the ADA is in place and people with disabilities know how to take advantage of it. So it's no longer a big celebration of the Lord. It's of the people who use it to their best of their ability.
And when we meet each year, Keith reminds us that the celebration should be a forward-looking celebration. Not,
Yes.
you say, okay, the act has been passed, now where are we going next? What are we going to do now?
And who's going to take our place?
Yes.
I think one of the things, Keith, that you brought up in your speech, and also just as we talked about it, excuse me, before the celebration itself, though, was that you also brought up that we need to make sure in some way that younger people that weren't even either around, we've got a whole generation now that was born after the signing of the ADA, reminding them of the struggle and the work that people went through to get the legislation signed, And just even as a reminder that even though we have the protections of the ADA, that we need to be vigilant and need to continue to be advocates, and the importance you brought up a couple times to me about instilling that in our young people is something we also have to work on.
Yes, because they are reaping the benefits people already fought for.
Interesting that you mentioned that, Mike, because Keith and I and the rest of the committee met today, earlier this afternoon,
Yes.
and we were talking about how do we consciously recruit young people to be involved in the committee's work going ahead. So we talked about different strategies for the coming year.
Terrific.
That's good.
That is very good. What about Joe? Anything stick out to you during the time we were all together there? Any highlights or just general impressions you'd like to?
Well, as Tom said, it was warm, but it was overcast, so the sun didn't get us till later. That was helpful. So that was the weather and a breeze. It was breeze, so it was nice. But Congressman Loebsack participated.
Yeah.
That was nice. He had some nice words, and then we had good. The city kind of had an important role in hosting it downtown on the Ped Mall, and Simon did a nice job. But then having the proclamations from Mayor Throgmorton and Supervisor Rod Sullivan, that was a nice touch too. So it's good to see some of our political leaders there, because there's at the end of the day, the ADA is a piece of legislation. It's about a policy that affects the entire country, and there's certainly things that we can do more of at the federal level, and there's state and local policy as well. So it's good to see those folks there and understanding the importance of coming out and showing support.
Really is.
And it was good to see those groups, the dance group and the singers, to show that they can accomplish what they need to do.
There were two main groups' combined efforts, which brought their dance group and their men's choir and their theater troupe. They were getting ready for a show, so they did a scene from their show, which has come and gone since then. And that combined efforts has been around for about 10 years as a theater company for people of all abilities. I think the show this summer was called Rattlesnake Gulch,
I think that,
and it was done outdoors. And the other was Infinity Dance Company. That was the group at the very end. And Sarah Furnish choreographs that and does some wonderful things. And by the way, Ed, in the Infinity Dance Company, at the end of the ADA celebration, one of the dancers was somebody you have known for many years, Leslie O'Leary.
Oh,
Leslie was there.
really?
She was one of the dancers.
But to the town.
Yeah, she was a longtime volunteer, and then later, longtime volunteer at Wild Bill's, and later a business owner at Uptown Bill's.
I remember that.
And retired. And I didn't know she was involved with this group till they had a rehearsal downtown, and I'm walking through, and there's Leslie.
Oh,
So
that's
she was
great.
there.
Yeah.
It was exciting to see her as part of this new troupe, which includes dancers, some in wheelchairs, some with walkers, just an extraordinary choreographed dance that Sarah has designed. Yeah.
Does she have a dance studio of some sort? Or
Yes, it's called Infinity Dance
Okay,
Company.
that's wonderful.
And it's part of a set of things around the country that use the name Danceability.
Great. There's a topic for another show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ed, anything else, anything about the ADA celebration that you would like to talk about, or any impressions, things that you liked about it?
Anything from the ADA celebration this year, last year, that you particularly liked? That you liked especially from the ADA celebration? Anything you liked that you...
Well, I'm surprised when they get the award.
The award? Yeah, it's over here now.
And the people he used to listen.
The people, what, listen?
People listen to you.
And the group, they helped me a lot.
Okay. People helped out a lot.
Yeah, it was people really did work together, and I just got a lot of positive energy. People were very happy to be there, and it was just a very upbeat time. So
It was nice to visit with Bill Reagan's daughter.
It was.
Who was there. That was very sweet to chat with her.
She
really,
gave
really-
Bill Reagan's daughter gave you the award. Yeah.
She's very pleased.
yeah, and his and her husband was there too, and we had a chance to talk, and so yeah, it was very exciting, and hopefully that will be a standing item for many years as part of the celebration.
Well, we decided that next year it'll be on Saturday, July 22nd, right?
Yes.
And at the same time, but that maybe we should get some tents
Okay.
for people to be under.
To avoid the heat.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Keith, I know that this has been a subject as we start to wind down here, and maybe you want to go into it a little more, but I know that you started already where you talked about looking forward. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what your own thoughts are, and then we can kick this around in the remaining time that we have in terms of, we've talked a little bit about the struggles about where we've been and where we are today, and then where we're headed.
Okay, I think today's young people have a very excellent opportunity to make great strides in employment, in higher education, and in just living quarters. And I don't mean facilities, I mean housing, apartments. They have a lot to look forward to, especially now that they can get on and off a bus whenever they need to, without too much difficulty. The only thing is that we need to just be in the public life, because when you don't have a disability, you tend to not realize what it takes to get up every morning and deal with the disability 24 hours a day. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of patience.
Well, it also takes a lot of living, and that gets back to what you were talking about, and Ed talked about that a little while ago too, about educating people about our abilities, and a part of that is just by going out and doing things. So I think that's. How anyone else have a comment on that? What has the ADA gotten us, and where might we direct our efforts in the future?
Don't let your senator or legislator investigate where you're going.
Yeah, well, our work's never done. I mean, we, as Keith pointed out, I mean, the strides we've made that a lot of younger people that are going to need, to have access to accessible housing and accessible transportation. I mean, there's been a lot of work done for people that might have a disability. A young person having a disability is going to be, employment's going to be more readily available.
Yeah.
All these accommodations that have been fought for, and we got to maintain those. And I think the immediate work in Iowa is back to this Medicaid privatization.
Yeah.
Make sure that people, especially people with disabilities, don't fall through the cracks as a result of these major changes to the system. That's urgent. And we just got to keep at it. I think you're on trying to get more young people involved. I mean, as you pointed out, Mike, a bunch of people have been born that were born after the ADA came in place. Mm-hmm. And I think the emphasis on getting more people and younger people engaged here is really a good one.
Well, we've had a very good session tonight, and I want to thank our three guests, Joe, Tom, and Ed.
Thank you.
Mike, do you have anything?
Just to second what you said, Keith, and it's been a fun time to sit back and reflect on the work that so many people did, and thank all of you for coming, and thank all of you out there for viewing, and we wish you a great week.
Have a good week. Stay cool.